My name is Vince McManus with Commonwealth Financial. Now, money affects nearly every part of family life. It influences where we live, how we spend our time, how we prepare for the future, and the opportunities we create for the people we care about most. And yet, despite that, many families rarely talk about it, not because they don't care, but because money conversations can feel uncomfortable. Some people worry about creating conflict, others don't know where to start, and many families simply get busy and assume everyone is just on the same page. Well, financial silence doesn't create clarity, it creates confusion. And today, I want to talk about financial conversations that help build stronger families and why those conversations matter more than most people realize. So, let's start with a simple reality. Most people didn't grow up in households that openly discussed money. For many families, money was considered private. Maybe your parents never talked about finances at the dinner table. Maybe financial stress was hidden from children. Or maybe conversations only happened when there was a money problem. Most of us carry that pattern into adulthood. We talk about work, we talk about school, we talk about vacations, but when the conversation turns to finances, many families tend to become a little bit uncomfortable. So, avoiding financial conversations does not remove financial issues. It simply makes them harder to address. When families don't communicate about money, that's when misunderstandings start to develop. One spouse may assume a financial goal is a priority while the other sees it much differently. Parents may believe their children understand their financial expectations when they really don't. Adult children may have assumptions about future support, inheritance, or financial responsibilities that have never actually even been discussed. And over time, these assumptions can create frustration and lead to even more conflict. Not because anyone intended to cause problems, but because expectations were never clearly communicated. Strong families don't necessarily agree on everything financially, but they do understand where they stand. And when people think about money conversations, they often jump straight to numbers. But the most important conversations usually aren't about numbers at all, they're about priorities. So let's look at three conversations every family should think about having. Conversation number one: what are we working towards? Every family has goals. The question is whether everyone understands them. Are you trying to pay off debt, save for retirement, build a business, fund education, create more flexibility in the future? When goals remain unspoken, family members often end up pulling in different directions. Whereas when goals are discussed openly, decisions become easier because everyone understands the destination and is on the same page. Conversation number two: what matters most to us? Money is just a tool. The way we use it reflects what we value. For some families, security is their highest priority. For others, it's experiences, education, generosity, independence, or legacy. There isn't one right answer, but it is important to understand what matters most to your family. When financial decisions align with family values, they become easier to make and easier to support. Number three: what trade offs are we willing to make? Every financial decision involves a trade off. You can spend money today or you can save it for tomorrow. You can prioritize one goal or another. Strong families don't avoid these trade offs, they talk about them directly. Because when experiences are clear, financial decisions feel less like sacrifices and more like intentional choices. One reason families avoid money conversations is they think it has to be formal or complicated. It doesn't. In fact, the best conversations are often simple. Start with questions. Ask your spouse or children about their future goals. Talk about what financial success means to them and to your family. Discuss priorities rather than account balances. Focus on understanding before solving. And remember, the conversations don't need to happen once, they just happen regularly. Strong communication is built through consistency, not by having one big discussion. Children learn more from what they observe than what they're told. And when parents communicate openly and responsibly about money, children begin to understand that financial decisions are just a simple part of everyday life. They learn that money is not something to fear, it's something to manage, and that these goals require planning and that choices have consequences. Financial decisions are connected to values and priorities. Those lessons often stay with them long after they leave home. Strong financial plans aren't built through investments or budgets, they're also built through communication. Because when families understand their goals, create a set of values, and prioritize, financial decisions become clear. And when financial decisions become clearer, families tend to experience less stress, less confusion, and they end up having more confidence about the future. Now, the strongest financial plans are often supported by something simple: good conversations. If you want help building a family financial plan that supports multiple generations and creates greater clarity around your financial goals, reach out to us at Commonwealth Financial. We work with clients across West Virginia, Ohio, and throughout the entire United States to build structural financial systems designed for clarity, control, and long-term growth. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who could benefit from the conversation. Again, this is Vince McManus. Thank you for watching this episode of Wealth Wednesday.